mostly in the head control this week, okay? Shoulder control is basically the underhooks, things that we've gone over so far. So we're just funneling in the things that we already know, okay? One area I want to go over specifically is half guard, where their chest is at your stomach. So they don't have control of your upper body just yet, okay? This is a great position to be in as a person on top. You got to know where the strengths and the weaknesses is in this position. If I start going for things here, like Kimura's, they're going for the legs, and his head is across and with diagonal control, I'm going to have trouble against people that are good with passing. Okay, of course, we're able to do counterattacks, but honestly, that's probably going to work on people you're more experienced in. All right, let's do something that's going to work on a white belt, and it's also going to work on a high-level black belt as well. So first thing is frames. I need to prevent his control from coming up my body and getting control of my head. So that's number one. So I'm getting any sort of frame in here possible. Most likely it's going to be your elbows at first. If he's starting to work up my body, I need to get a frame on him and start scooting away. I want to keep him at my stomach, but I don't want to stay here. Even if I do knee levers, all these things, I'm going to have trouble because of the angle of his body. So what I'm going to do, when I feel the timing's right, I'm going to keep one frame in place, and I'm going to get a collar tie on his forehead, side of his head, back of his head, anything that I can possibly get here. I need to get his head on the near side of his body. What I usually do is I bridge and I pass this across with my forearm and get it on this near side, okay? And as you saw, I scooted my hips out a little bit here. Now from here, I want to upgrade to the best frame that I can possibly get. So I'm going to start the frame on Joel's head. Start to push away. I don't want bent arms here, because lean all your weight in here. I can't do that. I need to have straight arms. So sometimes you need to be pushing and scooting away at the exact same time. All right? The beauty of this is even if he's still in a half guard in here, try to pressure up my body, he can't. The only way he can go is up, and when he goes up, that allows me to get my frames back in. And then now we're in positioning here where we can go into our offense. I can get control of this near side shoulder with an overhook. I can get a claw grip over here and pull him on top of me and starting to get to our shoulder control. If I don't feel like this is working because it's too far away, we can forward shift and look to heist. Okay? If you ever feel like people are not pressuring in you, we're coming up. Okay? So let's do this one more time. So here, he's going to start with diagonal control. This is bad for me. Frame the best that you can. Okay? Collar tie, passing in here, straight arms. Okay? He can't come into me now. He can now. He can flatten me out. All right? Try to grab my head. And then, yep. See, the way where he can go is up, and that allows me to get control of both hips. I want you to be thinking of retention first, and then from here we can look for control. All right? Most likely once you get to here, they're going to start to recede a little bit, and then that allows us to get back to more of an open positioning here. We can start to set up our grips in whatever way possible. Okay? We'll get into more of elbow and wrist control next week. Okay? But that's what we're looking for now. Person on bottom, your job is to get back to get to retention where you're controlling both hips. Okay? If you can win control of the shoulders and the head along the way, or ice to neutral, that's a win as well. Person on bottom, you're trying to get control of the head and the shoulders from that half guard position. All right? Sound good? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Can apply to any form of wrestle passing. Okay? Another form of wrestle passing could be the over-under position. Okay? Double leg passing, where he's got both of my legs collected with his arms into here. Okay? Let's say I'm more of a half guard with it. They all have the same concept. This pressure comes from diagonal control. Once you get their head on the same side, that all goes out the window. Okay? But again, you want to upgrade to straight arms the best that you can. All right? In these positions, if you can get control of both hips, that's great. All right? But there's going to be times where your partner's going to start to go around your legs towards the back door. Okay? So this can be a threat if you let go of this head. All right? So focus on keeping stiff arm in this head and building up to a hand when possible. Now what I want you to do is I want you to get your hips between you and your opponent. It's basically getting your butt between you and them. There's going to be a point where they either hold on for dear life or they let go. If they let go, we're able to square up with our partner. If they don't let go, try to get your outside leg free at least, and then we can start to stand. Okay, now we're starting to get in single leg defense. Now, it's tempting to just do the spin around to the back door, but all Joel has to do is posture up, collect both my legs, and push me down to the mat now. Okay? So, bam! So what's better? Just trying to stand and get away, limp leg out. That's going to be much better, much more reliable for you to deal with. Okay? Let's do over-under passing here. All right? As soon as I get the head on the near side, I'm doing much better. Okay? What I don't recommend is letting this leg fall across. So whenever we're here, getting really heavy with this leg. And now you either get control of both hips, okay? If he jumps around towards the back door somehow, some way, again, I'm keeping my stiff arm here. If I can scoot my butt back and face him, perfect. If he's getting a little closer to my hips, I get my hips in between me and him, and I look to stand, okay? So, starting any form of wrestle passing, this time you're already starting with a forearm on top of their head, okay? So what I mean by that, let's do over under. I'm already starting here, okay? Immediately get to here, get to here. If you're able to fully retain your guard, that's a win. If you're able to get control of the head and shoulders with your legs or your arms, that's a win. If you're able to get to neutral positioning, that's a win, okay? Person on top, you're trying to win connection of the head and the shoulders in whatever form, okay? Sound good? 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, so once you feel like they're moving up to like the stomach and chest area, that's when we're going back to the half guard series that we did before. Okay, you need to get frames in and get them back down to their stomach, and then you can focus on getting their head on the same side. Okay, so we're going to be working head wraps. We want to be the 6 a.m. class, but wasn't up for the head wraps, so we got to be working there. Okay, so in the case where we're coming up and we're wrapping the head, and we either go for a guillotine and it failed, or Joel is able to put me back on my butt here. So I have control of the head and control of the shoulders. I highly, highly, highly recommend doing arm and control, okay? It's going to pay off in the long run. We can go back for the finish later, all right? It's really risky letting go and going out here after I'm already on my butt, because there's a lot of defenses that Joel can use against me, okay? So whenever we're in this position, we can sweep in any direction. Just know that because you got control of the head and the shoulders. I always recommend trying to initiate your sweep towards the side of the head, okay? The way I'm going to do that is I recommend doing a forward shift first. So from supine here, a forward shift, okay? So staying flat on your back and trying to sweep here is going to be hard, so I'm going to bring my knees to my chest and come up to an angle, okay? If I go straight back, his feet will just dig in the mat. I'm like in this middle position where I'm just using abs. So come back, go to an angle here. Now what I want to do is I want to tuck my elbow in towards my hip, and I want to go to my hip and my shoulder, okay? I'm going to be using this free leg as a hook, but what does the sweep is inverting my bottom knee. Not this, okay? This, okay? Now I can look to come to the top positioning, and from here we can look to finish or establish top positioning in any way possible, okay? So that's one direction. If I'm here, I try to sweep there, but Joel is looking to go towards the other side. I can sweep him in this direction as well. But again, you got no sweep until you invert this bottom knee, okay? From here, we can look to come to the top position in any way possible. All right? You can even go overhead. This will happen if people start to stand, right? So if Joel starts to stand and flatten out with me, I try to forward shift. It's not working because he's pressuring in. I can literally take him overhead, all right? Now, when we ever get to this inverted north-south position, I want to go towards the side of the head and look to come up and establish a side head wrap, or worst case, he comes back up to a front head position, okay? So we're gonna start with the head wrap and butterfly position so we got control of both of the hips. Joel's job is to get to the arm side here, past side control. We're gonna work against this here in a moment. We still have options we can generate here, but this is Joel's goal. You don't just have sweeping options from here, you have heisting options. So say I sweep here, but it didn't work. I can bring my legs back and come back up to the top. And now we're looking for getting behind the elbows, okay? If Joel starts to go towards the weak side, and I'm able to get my legs behind me, that's perfect, okay? So your job is to finish on top or get back to the front head position. Sound good? Good? First on top, you're trying to get to the arm side. So side control on the arm control side. Good. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Time. And I'm here, and I have a head wrap. The weakness of this grip is when Joel gets towards, they call it the weak side of the choke. But what is this? It's diagonal control. All right, it's the same thing that we were dealing with before, but we don't have the ability of passing the head towards the other side. So anytime that you start to see someone walking towards that side to build diagonal control, you can start to sweep towards that direction. But that's not 100% as well, because if Joel lifts his, kind of hops his hips up and sprawls down, it may not work, right? So you gotta be ready for this. Whenever this starts to happen, I like to get my legs back as far as I can. So we're thinking of sprawling here. Not up towards the ceiling, we're sprawling. So I want to get my legs back as far as I can and sprawl down the best that I can, okay? I recommend keeping this arm. Just think of posting this hand here, but all Joel has to do is throw his arm over my shoulders, and I'm in a lot of trouble now, okay? So, when we're here, first option is sweep. We pop it towards the weak side. So I can use that movement against them. And also you have mixtures, right? Anytime a sweep is not working or fails partially, we come up on top, all right? So in this circumstance, I was able to get back to front head, but I'm not gonna wait for him to reset. I'm immediately going to be working my go behind, all right? If the sweep is not working, I can look to sprawl away. But still, some people are gonna be really good, especially if they collect your legs here, okay? So go ahead and collect my legs, all right? Now, if we're here in this position, what I need to do is I need to get my legs free. So I do a little bit of a pseudo choke. So I start to squeeze and bridge up towards the ceiling. It's not a legit choke, but it makes it legit enough for him to let go of my legs. Now, you're like, well, you just pulled side control. Well, yes, but I can use this grip against him. Go ahead and get heavy in side control here. All right? Now, if we stay perpendicular like this, I'm in trouble. I need to start walking my legs away like I'm trying to get the sprawl going, okay? If I can get my hips down, perfect. But I can actually use a bridging sweep here. So once I get to more parallel towards Joel, his shoulders tucking underneath, now I can bridge and get him to the bottom, okay? So let's look at that one more time. So you have a little bit of a combination here. Sweep, sprawling to heist, and also bridging to heist. Go ahead and get all the way to the weak side. All right, here's not gonna work. Here it is, okay? So you got 3 options to work with there. Person on bottom, or person on top, I want you to start going to the weak side every single time. Person, oh, I messed that wrong. Person on top, I want you to always be going to the weak side of the choke to try to establish that position, okay? Person on bottom, you win if you're able to get to the top in any form. Sound good? Sound good? 1, 2, 3.